Oh, I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I'm not the mistakes that I have made, or any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. I am light. 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 I am not the color of my eyes. I am not my skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. Is all light. Is all light. Is all light. I am 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 divinity defined. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light.
Wow.
Thank you.
Thank you, honey. It's a very, very powerful message.
Thank you. That is definitely a powerful message. And I am dedicating this to Patty. I'm dedicating it to her. I'm going to say Detroit never fails us. It's always filled with light and wisdom. Wayne Dyer was born in Detroit a couple of years after Patty was born. And we discovered that just recently when we celebrated her 80th birthday. We went and did research on her, and we found out she was in good company. She's in company with Wayne Dyer, Lily Tomlin. She and Lily Tomlin were cheerleaders. My goodness, we learned so much about each other. But you know, we're talking about two lights. We're talking about diversity because each went in different directions, but they showed up in the world as a beneficial presence. And that's what today is all about. Everything that's happening in our lives, the universe is creating wonderful opportunities for us to show up as our authentic self. And when you show up as your authentic self, then you show up as pure light. You show up as that beneficial presence in the world. So today we're going to be talking about faith. And as we talk about faith, what we're going to be talking about is how that applies to us. We've been talking about this for a couple of weeks. And the question is, do you have the faith? Or do you have the faith? Or are you had by faith? Now, today we're going to be talking about facing our fears. You know, we have to be courageous to open up and face our fears, even when it doesn't look pretty. So the first thing I want to do is send a shout out and invite you guys to download this prayer app. You can see it in my background today. And the purpose of you downloading this app is tomorrow, we're going to be partnering with the United Nations ministers and prayer practitioners all over to offer you 12 prayers on the hour starting Eastern Time, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. These prayers are diverse, but it's about healing in the world. And these people have agreed to step up and to stand in this place to support the entire planet in its growth, in its evolution, to support us in moving into that place of self-empowerment. This is what faith is all about. So we continue to move forward regardless of the circumstances. We continue. There is a song many years ago. I remember when I used to be in the choir. Can you believe it? I was in the choir, and there was a song, and if I find it, I'm going to have it transposed digitally. And the song is "I Press for the Mark of the High Calling." And I love that song. It was written at the time by my minister, Reverend Sally. And it is pressing for the mark of the high calling of God in Christ. When we move into that space of God, I want you to hear the word God in Christ. Christ, many people associate Christ, they limit that idea of Christ. And they limit it because they're thinking about a person. It may have been a person that showed up as that Christ awareness. But what I want to say is that person shows up all the time. If you look in the mirror, you see the opportunity for that Christ awareness to show up. And the person that I'm talking about right now is Jesus. People said, oh, he was the Christ and he's the ultimate. He is not the Christ and the ultimate. Just as Buddha is not the Christ and the ultimate in his time, in his teachings, which are timeless. Both their teachings are timeless. It is the teaching of what they're saying that we get to pay attention to and listen to. But Jesus says, you too will do these things and even more. And I'm going to say, this is the time that we have all been prepared to do these things and even more. And that is to take that stand and move into a place of integrity with ourselves, about life, and about humanity. And so what I'd like to do is I'm going to share something with you. We get to really understand what faith is. And I was so excited. I said, okay, this is right on about who we are as a ministry, because we really value spiritual practice. And I want to share a reading, and this is what Ernest Holmes says. In order to have faith, we have to remember faith is not about manipulating, bargaining, or trying to plead with someone or something outside of ourselves. Everything starts within us. And this is what Ernest Holmes says. In order to have faith, we must have a conviction that all is well. In order to keep faith, we must allow nothing to enter into our thoughts which will weaken this conviction. Faith is built up from belief, acceptance, and trust. Whenever anything enters our thoughts which destroy in any degree one of the three attitudes, to that extent, faith is weakened. So what comes to mind for me is I have in my household right now, I'm so grateful, and I'm going to invite you to lean into this energy and this vibration. I have a person in my household that reminds me of this all the time. He mirrors that. When we start to talk about the adversity of life, I'm going to call it the adversity of life. That adversity can be anything from our concern. And that concern is, what are we going to eat today? Or whether we have the funds to pay for the food. Or it can be, I'm struggling so hard right now. I really need support. And the blessing is that I have my beloved that continues to remind me I'm going to be okay. So I'm going to share a story with you. Years ago, I was just outside having the time of my life. I'm watering my tomatoes at the time. I was growing tomatoes. And to know me and to, it's quite interesting. That was commendable for me to be outside doing something like that. I was by myself. Well, not really. I was on the phone with my sister. We're having this wonderful conversation. And all of a sudden I feel something in my tummy go boom. It's like, what is that? And she and I are just having a great time. I get in the house, I sit down, and all of a sudden I have something that goes bump again. It's stinging me. Something is like something bit me. I said, what is that? I'm talking to my sister, and all of a sudden I move into this panic mode. The panic mode is there's a wasp right there on my stomach, and it has stung me several times. And I tell my sister, oh my God, there's a wasp. And I run to the door, and she's immediately on her computer researching how to deal with a wasp bite. And I get to the door, and I'm able to open it up, and it flies off of me. And I'm so grateful that I'm so close to the door. Well, my imagination flew. And you hear so much about wasp and bee stings and all of that. So she says, get some lavender oil. Well, she knows I'm the oil queen. I have a lot of essential oils. I'm looking for my lavender oil, and I realize that it's outside in the car. Well, at this moment, I'm traumatized. And in that trauma, I'm afraid to go outside. So I call my husband up. And when I call him up, I said, can you bring me my bag outside? Because I need to put some lavender on this. Then by the time he gets there, I put the lavender on, and I have gone to another level. I need to go to emergency right now because I've been stung by a wasp. And I've read so much, and I'm confused with the information because they tell you that if you get a bee sting, it can be poisonous. And I'm trying to sort it all out. He looks at me and he says, darling, he's got that Kansas City drawl. It's all gonna be okay. And I looked at him like, what are you talking about? I'm gonna call my sister-in-law, the nurse. She's gonna tell me. I'm gonna call all of my sacred healers so that they can just confirm that I need to go. Well, I want you to know that I moved through that. It was a tender moment. It was very painful, but I did heal from that. But that healing had to do with faith, and it had to do with me being on point and focused. So this is an important part of our remembering and understanding that we can easily weaken ourselves. Now, I could have gone into panic mode, and in that panic mode, I could have created more stress, and I could have attracted something more that could have been more detrimental as opposed to what was going on. So it is important for us to get an understanding, and all that get that understanding about faith. So faith is a muscle, and that muscle is an affirmation about life. And that faith is a muscle that is built, and that muscle is built by spiritual practice. So you notice we have this thing here. It says, we value spiritual practice. Faith is that practice of allowing spirit to show up in your life. And we practice and allow spirit to show up in our life. So when things happen, as I say, and many people hear me say this sometimes, it is for this moment I've been prepared. The truth of the matter, it is for every moment we have been prepared, regardless of the circumstances. But we practice and we practice and we practice, and we build a muscle up about what we know about life. It's about what we know about the things that are going on. So every little experience of success, I'm going to say, reminds us about the infinite possibilities. And in that infinite possibilities, we get to grow, grow, grow. Just like the Talmud says, it's just like the blades of grass that are leaning over the angels leaning over the blades of grass saying grow, grow, grow. That is what this is all about. So we must work with that muscle memory about success. We must work with that muscle memory about spiritual practice, having something to go to when something seems a little off, when things seem not to be working. And that is the essence of the master, and I'm going to call Jesus the master teacher. That is the essence of what he taught. It was the essence of what Buddha taught. He was able to take people deeper. We were moving deeper into a space of enlightenment. So our practice has a lot to do with it. And that practice has to do with how we embrace this infinite, this divine presence of who and what we are, that light. So we are in a space of discovery, always remembering our light. And as we remember our light, the more that we embrace that life, that light, it supports us and it responds to us again and again. Okay? And when we move into that place, then we become the example of what faith truly is. It's about learning how to overcome fear. Okay? That is an important part of this whole process. Learning how to overcome fear. So I'm so excited about tomorrow. And the reason I'm excited about tomorrow is we're going to be having 12 people from different walks of life. And what we're going to be doing is addressing the issues of the day. And the UN has asked us to support them in shaping peace. We've chosen to use the spiritual practice of prayer. And we're going to invite you to join us tomorrow in the practice of prayer. And the way it's going to work is if you go and download this app from your app store, and I'm inviting you to share this video with as many people as possible. Download this app in your app store. It is free. You're going to be receiving push button notifications. And those push button notifications will be prayers. We're just going to invite you to take some time out every hour on the hour and pray, and then go on about your business. The prayer that you're going to be doing is you're just going to be joining in with a video prayer of whoever that person is. I think our curator, Jim Thompson, is going to be the first person to launch the prayers at 8 o'clock Eastern time in the morning. And then we're going to have prayer after prayer after prayer each hour. A few minutes going about your business. And we're going to do that for 12 hours. It's about shaping peace, but it is all about life. And the prayers are profound. They're moving. Not only are they moving, they're energizing, and they support us in moving forward. And as we continue to move forward, what we become is more grounded, and we begin to show up, and the world begins to show up as divine light. And like I said, right now, the world is in need of love. Humanity is in need of love. And how you show up and how you respond makes a big difference. And what I believe is, and you guys are probably saying, well, Reverend Jerry, I am showing up, but I don't understand why all of this is going on. And what I want to say is that we're being called to move even deeper. And as we deepen in our awareness, the deeper will support us and it will mirror itself in the world. So we're going to need to be courageous. We're going to need to direct our attention in areas of concern. If something is popping up, it is an area of concern. It is an area that we get to step into with courage. It's an area that we get to step in and be, and I want you to hear this, self-empowered. Faith is about self-empowerment. And that self-empowerment may be one thing. It may be one thing that makes a difference and tips things all around you. So our choices we make are very, very important. So whatever area that you're working with and moving through at this moment, please keep those things in mind. Also keep in mind that you are a beneficial presence in the world. You are a blessing, and the universe is calling you to stand in your light of who you truly are. And so I want to close with a couple other quotes that I'd like for you to hear about faith. I want to close with the words from Thomas Merton. And he says, and this is a basic paraphrase, it says, God approaches our minds by receding from them. We can never fully know God if we think of God as an object or capture. And I want you to keep that in mind when we think about those people, the icons like Jesus, like Buddha. They had their place, but the ideas that they expose, the wisdom and the light that they brought is the most important thing. To be fenced in by the enclosure of our own ideas, we know God better after we let God go. That is allowing God to show up in your life, allowing yourself to be the instrument where God fulfills itself. Okay? And here is something from Flannery O'Connor. He says, faith rises and falls like the ideas of an invisible sea. You realize, I think that is more valuable, more mysterious, together more immense than anything you can learn or decide upon in college. Okay? We're talking about the school of life. And finally, in the Science of Mind, it says, if one will have faith in himself, faith in his fellow men, in the universe and in God, that faith will light the place in which he finds himself. And by the light of this faith, he will be able to see that all is good. And the light shed by the faith will light the way for the others. We become conscious of darkness only when we are without faith. Our faith is ever the light of our day and the light of our way, making the way clearly visible to us, even when to all others it may be set with obstacles and the ongoing rough. So I want you to join me right now. We're going to turn within. And what we're going to turn within and do is move into a place of truth as we move into prayer. And I'm inviting you to simply breathe with me this morning. And as we're breathing this morning, I'm inviting you to just focus on the heart. And just allow for the breath. Imagine it flowing and circulating through the heart, that heart muscle, the beginning of your muscle memory. And as you are moving through and allowing that light to just circulate, I want you to hear those words. I am light. and just continue to breathe. And as we're breathing right now, we're remembering the importance of the heart. It's all a part of creation. It is the procreation of the universe, that divine energy, and that universe is the consistency of love and the consistency of universal law. And in that consistency, there was the creation, and that creation is you. And in that creation, from the very seed, the very core of who you were, there was something that birthed itself in humanity. That birthing took place as the development of the heart, and the heart began to send signals to every part of your being, supporting you in the animation of yourself in humanity. Just breathe. It supported the growth and the evolution of every single organ. It sustained itself. It was the temperance until the neuroplasty, our nervous system, was able to develop itself and strengthen itself. It created that divine opening. Moving into the infinite now, join me in just simply breathing and acknowledging the divine infinite in action. Blessing and acknowledging that divine power right now within every part of our physical being. And acknowledging that same power within our mental, our emotional being. We just acknowledge the essence of life that always has been, always will be, that is fully present right here and right now. And what I know about this wonderful essence is that there is a peace that passeth all understanding. And in that peace right now, divine love prevails. In that peace right now, that divine light of wisdom fulfills itself in this space right here, right now. I know that the universe has opened itself up and is that divine essence coalescing and revealing itself. And I know that it is the divine light right where I am. I know it as the light right where each individual is that is engaged in this very moment. And what I know is that this divine presence, this divine light has already gone before and it has prepared the way. I know that it is the energy and it is the vibration that is moving and having its way right now for each individual. And as I speak my word right now, what I'm knowing is each individual is lifted up to the place of the Most High, that there is a peace that passeth all understanding, that divine love moves and has its being within each individual. What I'm knowing is there is the radiance of perfect health. And I know that that perfect health is that vibration moving and expressing itself as wholeness on all levels. I know it to be so within the body temple. I know that there is a healing power expanding itself and revealing itself. I know it to be so right here, right now, within the mental bodies of our being, in what we know about life, into our discoveries and the good that it's continuing to unfold. And I know it to be that same vibration expressing emotionally within our memory of life and our memory of the wisdom and the good of God. And what I know is that that memory of good of God fulfills itself as divine empathy, divine compassion, And I know that it is this energy that is brought forward in this moment. It is for this moment we are prepared. It is an exercise in the faith. That faith that there is something greater unfolding and revealing itself. And the muscle memory of our experience of good, of compassion, of love in action fulfills itself right now. And what I'm knowing about it is that we are all lifted up to the place of the very Most High. I know that anyone that is viewing this right now, that their understanding of this experience that they experience in this moment, it creates that opening and the healing presence. So what I know about it is there's perfect peace. And I know that that peace is alive right now within everyone that is moving in through any health issue. I know that it is fully present right now within every single relationship. I'm acknowledging it as that creative essence, that divine spark, fortifying itself as the perfect idea, the perfect working of good in the world and expressing through each individual. I know that it shows up in terms of our work, a way of being in sacred service in the world. And I know that it shows up in a sacred way in all of our relationships. It shows up in our homes. It shows up as that space of God as the infinite factor. Many may call it abundance, financial abundance. But what I know about it is that it is God as the infinite, moving as that perfect vibration. And as I'm acknowledging all of this good, knowing that the spirit of perfection is at every point and reference in every thought, in every part of life, I just simply give thanks for sacred love, revealing itself and expressing itself beyond that which we cannot even imagine. And what I know is that it has shown up in each of our lives in practical ways, and that it is truly that divine blessing that continues to fortify itself. It is the sun that continues to rise again and again and again. And I'm so grateful this morning to behold the presence and that light of truth within my life, within all of humanity, and within everyone and everything that I come into contact with. So I simply release these words right now into the action of universal law. And together we all affirming by saying, and so it is. Amen. Just breathe with me. And I'm going to invite you to just gently open your eyes. And as you're opening your eyes, I'm going to share one more video with you. And this video is a very special video. It is a video about the sun rising. Ray is one of my favorite people. And you can have him and play him again and again for Amazon.
If you're perplexed beyond reason, total confusion in mind, pay heed It's a simple silent decision, fun full of feelings you find. Send yourself messages of courage, courage to conquer the past. Fall back from thoughts that discourage, make sure they never last. When it seems like life is useless, seems to you that you are too, you will find strength for the struggle, inspiration, motivation from the source in you. The sun will rise, don't you ever know? Sun will rise, you can work it out. Sun will rise, bringing a new day. Never to fail for tomorrow, ever redoing what's done. Set your soul free from the sorrow, set your sights on the sun. When it seems like life is useless, seems to you that you are too, you will find strength for the struggle, inspiration, motivation from the source in you. The sun will rise, don't you ever doubt. Sun will rise.
that was Ray Davis. Oh my goodness, one of my favorite songs. And I want you to know that the sun is rising in you. I'm going to invite you to go and download this prayer app in your prayer store. It's called the Prayerful Heart app. And join us tomorrow as we all join together and do our part in supporting and shaping peace together. And we can all do it by joining together in prayer. So if you download this app, you will receive those push button notifications, and you'll be able to open it up on your phone or your device. And you have challenges finding it in your app store, just go to seatfm.org. Seat, F-S-E-A-F-T, fm.org, and download it. The information is right here on our Facebook page. If you go to the top and click on that where it says learn more about spiritual enlightenment and truth-focused ministry, that information is going to populate and take you to the right page. And all you need to do is click on the information about prayer, and it will show you how to download that app. It'll just take you there and let you download it, put you in the right place for downloading it. I love and I appreciate you all, Facebook. Thank you for being a part of this.